We're going to record just for us. So I don't show this to anyone. It's just for you in case you want to go back to the recording. Um, all right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to upload something real quickly there. Share, share. Okay. Editor. Okay. Why is this not? Okay. Here we go. Shared with me. Oh, that's why. I got the wrong one. Huh, that's weird. Okay. It seems like things just disappeared on me and I don't know why. So, oh, that's because I changed it? Like, what's going on with this? Oh, that's what happened. Okay. Um, okay, we'll do it that way. Okay, I'm gonna have to upload something real quickly and then we'll be ready. I tried to be clever with this thing, but it didn't work. Okay, so that's fine. Upload, browse, recent items. There we go. Okay. I wanted to upload your pre-assessment results and to give it to you separately so that you don't have to look at each other's. You can kind of focus on your own. Um, I know that you're twins, but I think sometimes, I mean, you guys like to be treated like individuals, I'm sure. Um, I know you're going to be very different from one another, perhaps. So, all right, here we go. I'm going to share it with you right now, right there. Okay, cool. All right, let me make sure I'm sharing. And here is our session here. Okay, well, welcome to the class. The first thing I'm going to say is, um, I'm going to invite you guys. I actually already did into this class. Let me save that. You should, in a minute here, you're going to see my Google Classroom here. And so if you haven't already accepted the class, I'm going to go into it right here, and I will go ahead and copy the class code, or here's the invite link. I'll put this in the chat and then
Oh,
go ahead and accept.
we already like have your classroom.
You already accepted it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, that's fine. People here. Cool. Excellent. All right. I'm going to go ahead and just keep sharing my screen. There's going to be times where you're just going to want to open things up on your own and look at them. Here's our onboarding slide deck here. Um, session one, session slides. Okay. Yeah, I've been working on this, and so it doesn't look pretty the way it usually does. Usually I have a theme going on, and if you have any different kind of animals that you like, let me know and I'll put that into the slides. Do you girls like cats, dogs, monkeys, gorillas, dragons, snakes?
Okay.
What kind of animal do you like?
Pandas. Bunny.
Pandas. And okay, so Mayuri, you like pandas?
Yeah.
And how about Kushi? What kind of animal?
Bunnies.
Bunnies. Okay, I thought you said that. I like bunnies too. I was up in Canada and I was staying at an Airbnb, and the owner came and she was chasing a wild bunny in her front yard. It was so cool.
Oh,
Um, all right, so today, so week one, session one, writing foundations and onboarding. The focus is going to be building trust, introduce writing expectations, begin sentence control through narrative, establish goals and expectations for writing growth. So I think that building trust is important because, and it does take time to build trust. You know, you have to kind of, you wonder who's the person in front of you, right? We're always wondering who that person is. And so I hope to build that trust through basically delivering on what I say I'm going to do, right? And also um, treating you with confidentiality as well. I think it's great that it's, first of all, we're recording the sessions, right? So if mom wants to look at it, that's fine. Probably not, but it's really up to her. But it's nice that it's just you and me as a tutor. Okay. We're going to reflect on and share past writing experiences. We're going to learn why run-ons and vague sentences weaken writing. We're going to practice some brainstorming using a thinking map. Um, and kind of one of the things I think we should really think about and do is understanding tutoring goals of originality, structure, and idea growth. And this will come about by the little bit of work you do on the side, which is keeping a journal. Is going to be super important for you. Do either of you keep a journal, either a handwritten journal or something electronically on your phone, such as Google Keep, or
yeah.
you do? Okay. So you certainly want to find something. I have a reading adventure journal, which I can talk about if we have time, that captures different ways of making notes, making connections with what we read. And sometimes we'll add to it different elements. Okay. I won't get into all that, but it's like I'm always making it better. Um, so we're going to review your writing pre-assessment a little bit. We won't spend much time on that. I just felt like we were kind of rushed yesterday, and I know it's morning time. If you're like me, I'm a night person. So in the morning, I don't even know who I am. It's like I just want to crawl back in bed, and I just don't want to think about life right now. I want to think about my pillow, right? Ever feel that way?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, right. There's some days I wish I could spend the whole weekend doing that. I don't have that luxury. So if I get to sleep a full 7 hours, I'm lucky. We'll deal with the circle map, who I am, what I know. We might do some free write, I'm not sure. Um, whenever you see my slides here, really, I find that if I pay more attention to how it's going for you and just going with the flow, a lot of times that's how we learn the best. Um, all right, so why start with personal writing? Um, Writing from lived experience helps uncover your true voice. And I want you girls to be able to discover your voice. Um, it's in your unique way of speaking, and I could kind of see that in some of your writing to a small degree. It's hard when we're writing in a timed write because we don't really get to show our own personality. Um, Avoid internet AI tools. AI tools now helps build original thinking. Yeah, this is a typo right here. AI tools now help build original thinking. No, yeah, this is makes no sense here. But what I meant to say here was sometimes you kind of have to handicap yourself and lay everything aside and slow down. If you're not used to that, it can be very uncomfortable just to sit there. Do girls ever sit there without any electronics, just kind of think for like 30 minutes straight?
No.
Yes? No?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. How about you, Kushi?
Sometimes.
Yeah. How does it feel when you're just able to lay everything aside?
Um,
What does it do to your thinking, in other words? Are you able to like come up with different ideas about things, maybe solving issues or problems, questions you might have?
yeah,
Does
I have the capability to like develop a better like understanding of the material, or I don't really know.
Yeah. Yeah. We live in such a society where everything's going so fast, and writing really does slow us down. And it's not my goal to make you into a writer. It really is not. I'm not trying to make you into a novelist. Um, However, writing is something that it's kind of like math. If you don't know math, basic math, they're gonna you're gonna get messed over, right? When you go to the grocery store, you're not gonna know whether or not they're giving you the correct change, right? So we want to treat writing the same way. There's certain minimal amount of writing and thinking and reading that is really going to help you and relax you and help you become a better learner. So we will express ourselves also. So we'll experiment with different things. You may or may not use it every day, but at least you'll have that kind of experience. Strong sentences begin with clear, honest ideas. And here's the thing, I want you to give yourself permission to write really badly, really, to write really badly and to just write short, simple, declarative sentences. You girls are so intelligent and you've picked up on so much, and you'll see, I guarantee you, you're going to see all of that reading you've done, all that vocabulary. It's going to come back to you, right? You're not going to lose it. Okay. It's going to seem like you're putting some of that on hold because I'm not going to be impressed with big words. I'm not. Just like your parents, they're not impressed with the big words. And it's not your fault. It's just what has been allowed, right? So it's really our fault as adults, is it not? Teachers, right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about that? How do you feel about, um, well, that's too vague of a question. Any thoughts though?
Uh, no. I mean,
Yeah, you can say it's okay. I don't have any thoughts and we can move on too.
yeah, I don't.
Okay, sounds good. When you write what you know, you gain confidence fast. So part of the trick of becoming a really confident writer is when you're writing something that you're unfamiliar with, an unfamiliar topic such as social media, right? And I could kind of see where some of your writing was it felt kind of dry, but that was probably because you weren't quite sure what you had to say. You didn't really feel strongly about it. Um, I know intellectually, I could tell. I mean, you did an okay job, but it's kind of like you can really can't you really tell when somebody knows something? Can't you tell, like, when I've been on the sessions here that I felt really passionate? You can feel it in my voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how we can be when we write. Now, here's the thing. Here's the bad news. Here's the good news. You want to know how to write really well when you're unfamiliar with the material and you're being presented with this stuff like, okay, everybody, we're reading this novel and write about this, right? Here's the topic. And you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, I hate this. Let's be honest. I feel the same way about a lot of things I'm asked to do. The thing that we have to do if we want to speed up and spend less time writing, because ultimately, what I'm helping you with over the next 6 weeks is to slow down. And it's going to make you feel like you want to pull your hair out. It's like, what have I gotten into? Why am I doing this? Right. But in the long run, it's going to help speed you up. Why? Because get rid of, can I say a bad word here? Can I say BS? Right.
Mm.
It's going to help you get rid of the BS in your writing and your thinking and get real. And when you get real and you pick up some skills, you're going to be like, man, I like this stuff. I want to express myself. And here's the thing we have to, what we have to do. Here's a premise we write best what we know. We write best, and we're going to do a little bit of that today. But if you don't know something, how do you deal with that? If you're writing a topic you're unfamiliar with, what do you girls do to combat that, to write well? Talk to me about what you do. There's not a right or wrong answer.
Um, I searched it up on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. What else?
Um, but when I what?
Yeah, so when you're unfamiliar with the topic and you know you're going to be writing about it and you want to do well, what strategies are you using to familiarize yourself with that topic so you can feel comfortable writing?
Maybe look at some articles, like some credible articles, and maybe also like search it up majority of the time.
Yeah, very good.
Or like
Um,
receiving like assistance from like my friends like who like develop a better understanding of the material than like I do.
I'm so glad you said that. Um, I was beginning to think because you girls are very quiet. I don't know how talkative you are, but correct me if I'm wrong. You girls can be quiet on the surface, but when you get alone or like somebody did something really stupid at school, don't you talk to each other like, oh my God, like what the blah 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 blah. You ever feel that way? Is that kind of pretty accurate?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, I forgot the point I was trying to make. Oh yeah, the point I was trying to make was use some of that to your advantage, right? Get out of your comfort zone and learn to ask those questions. So we'll get into that. Yes, you're right. So what I'm trying to say, the point I'm trying to make with all of this is we have to work harder when we're unfamiliar with a topic. And I'm going to give you some frameworks for being able to do that. Um, we can talk about, I'll show you a quick way of doing this. Something that you may have not been taught before, but it's going to be huge when you get to high school and college. Your teacher can ask you, what's the passage about? What is it about? What's the main theme? Right? You're thinking, all right, shut up. Let me tell you what I think, right? Now, hey, I've taught high school for a long time. I like being around high schoolers because they're real, right? Okay. Anyway, so I like to teach students to ask, what does it say? What does it not say? Wow. What does it not say? How does it say it? And what does it mean? And making connections. So, Mayuri, you were talking about talking to your friends. Do your friends sometimes talk about the topic in a way that you realize, oh my gosh, girlfriend, you have a lot of knowledge there, right? That's because they have a personal connection with it. And that's called uh, text to self. Text. So say with me, text to self.
Text itself.
Okay. There are three ways of connecting with material. Text to self. How does the story remind me of my own life, my own experience? Text to text. Everybody say text to text.
It's a text. That sucks.
So you're reading a poem and it's pretty stupid, right? And it's pretty confusing, but it reminds you of like a book that you read or a movie that you saw, like a little line in the poem. So that's making a connection to the poem from something you saw. So a text is not just what's written, it's a movie. A text can be a car, believe it or not. A text can be your bag of makeup. It can, because what your eyeliner, your lipstick, and your eyeshadow tell you about yourself, it speaks volumes, does it not?
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
So to think in terms of analogies. Now, what were your thoughts when I talked about makeup bag? Was that kind of unusual to make a connection and call that a text? What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
It was pretty unusual. Was it positive? Was it negative? Was it somewhere in the middle, kind of just weird?
Neutral. Yeah.
Neutral? Pushy? Sorry.
Neutral.
Neutral. Okay. Right. Um, all right. Connections can be very positive too. Last connection.
Positive.
Can you guess what the last connection is? Text to text, text to self. What's the third major connection that will help you to become familiar with unfamiliar topics and write a lot better? What's the third kind of connection? What do you think?
Text to material.
What's that?
Text to material.
Text to material?
Um,
Okay, any other ideas?
no. Mm,
Mayuri? Any
Um,
guesses?
wait, what's the thing about
Yeah, so what's there's three kinds of connections.
text
I
to
we
text?
talked about two of them. What do you guess is the third type of connection?
So text to text, text to self, and text to text to
The
others.
world.
Uh, text to the
So,
global
yes,
population.
yes. We call it text to world. Text to others can include the world, right? The news, Elon Musk, Trump, India, Kashmir, social media, whatever you want to make it. Okay, enough about that. Let's move on. All right, let's jump right in and I don't think we really need to go through this whole report because it's kind of dry. What were your thoughts about this? Did you have any surprises with what I talked about yesterday in terms of your scores, your writing? Did you agree, disagree? Um, so you can say something like, well, I was a little bit surprised with the fact that I did so well on my second essay compared with my first. And I had no idea that really become familiar with the topic would make me score so high versus something I was a little less familiar with. Or, hey, I could have done this better. I should have separated things out into separate paragraphs. I would have done better. I would have been a little bit more specific in my examples. So, who wants to go first?
For the second paragraph, like I could have maybe like added more paragraphs. And I thought like I developed a better understanding on the first paragraph than the second one.
Yeah, why was that?
Because like I know more about like social media.
Yeah, Kushi, how about yourself?
I feel like I indulged into the social media field in the first one, whereas the second one I had to use more ingenuity to write, but it's often like I had to use the hook, thesis, the all the means and matters format, except there was no evidence there, so I had to utilize the means and matters. So yeah.
Let me take a look. Have you fathomed a world where clubs and programs suddenly emerged in front of your very eyes? Um, I thought this was the strongest. out of yours. And it was because of how specific it was. Is your perspective that yours, the first one was better because you had a more clear organizational structure,
Yeah.
more deliberate? Yeah. I would invite you to reread that because I felt the second was way better. Here's the difference. Um, from your perspective, you're doing the right things in the first paragraph. The second one, I don't think you felt it was very difficult. You felt like you were just writing. Did it feel like it flowed easier on the second one?
I felt on the second one I was like repeating too much. I was being too repetitive. And I didn't really
Oh,
know. Yeah.
okay.
I don't know if being repetitive is like a good thing, but
See, I would say in this, clubs and programs offer students the ability to strive for entirely completing the rigorous activities. Yeah, you're right. There was some repetition there. Um, I'm trying to think which one. Let me look at this second one. Yeah, I gave you a 15 out of 18 on the second one, and I gave you an 11 on the first one. And I think it's because let me see. First one here. Oh, there we go. There we go. Um, yeah, your examples weren't very deep.
for which one?
Um, yeah, I felt like I knew you were what you were talking about a little bit more in the second paragraph, only because you were actually backing it up more. You were getting more into the reasons why.
Oh, what was wrong with the first one?
Prakushi?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, the
Oh,
first
wait,
one here.
you're looking at my sister's or mine?
I'm looking at yours, Kushi.
Oh,
So thesis is present, but ideas lack clear progression. Transitions exist, but connections between ideas are thin. Main points are general. Examples lack depth. Some later elaboration helps redeem the piece. Um, Sentence fluency, moderate flow with moments of awkward phrasing, some run-ons. Um, all right. Yeah, that was 11 out of 18. And then the second one, I felt like you had a very clear hook and a logical flow. It seems like I could understand it more. Um,
and what
but
did I
at first,
receive for my second one?
yeah, the second one. So the first one was 10.75 from me. The second one was 15 out of 18.
Okay, she got a higher score than me, I think. I think she
What's
got a
that?
higher, I think she got a higher score than me for the second one.
Yeah, for the second, let's take a look. Was she, well, you got 15.25, and then
I
Mayuri
got
got,
15.5. And the A grade
yeah,
15.75, I got a 15.
yeah, she got slightly higher.
I
Um,
wrote so much more simpler though. How did I get a higher score?
yeah, yours on the second one. Well, let's look at it. Have you ever imagined a world where individuals in our schools have neglected the utmost priority to implement a new club or program they would? Our school should implement a foreign language education system initiates from the beginning of kindergarten all the way through the end of college. This will enable students from kindergarten to prepare in advance, become inclined to foreign language for further educational years. Students should become engaged and dedicated with foreign language for the purpose of comprehending primary. This will enable students to such. Um, I think probably because I'm guessing, let's see, the second one. I'm looking at Cushies now, which is longer.
It says writing flows smoothly and with confidence. I think that's why, probably. I don't know.
Well, probably because of, like you said, the repetition. Um, both of you had very long sentences, and I think Kushi, your second paragraph, if I'm not mistaken, that was the one. It's very long, which is not bad, but it was only three sentences long. If I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yeah, actually, there's a second one. The first one is actually technically a question, so that is a separate because your hook is one. Then the next sentence goes for like no, you have a clear topical sentence. New clubs or programs should be implemented and benefit students. Implementing new clubs or programs causes students. Yeah, very clear reasoning there. But still, it's still pretty high. I think probably what happens is it's not the amount of writing, but it might be a subtle difference in how clear. Um, and a lot of times it's easier to see with something that's written more concise because you can see from the topic sentence to the example and to the next point. It kind of flows. And sometimes it's the transitions as well. All right. Does that answer your question?
yeah,
And a lot of it is subjective. And this is why I asked AI to do some of this for me. But I spent probably a good hour on each of your responses. Um, okay. Yeah, grading is very difficult for me because it's very subjective. Um, okay. Let's go back into Google Classroom. Let's do a little bit of writing right now. Um, so I feel that's important. All right. Great. I'm going to get the lesson on my phone real quickly. Okay, let me grab my phone because I put the lesson on my phone. Okay, yeah. Okay, Google Drive, session document. All right, I'm just gonna go off my screen. All right, so I'm gonna show this right here. Yeah. Okay. Slides, blah, 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 onboarding. All right, here we are. Um, let's copy that. Okay, let me go in the right. Yeah. That's why I confuse matters because I have two Google accounts. All right. Um, Okay, we talked about that. We're going to work with the circle map right now. And so let's jump right in. So we're going to jumpstart some ideas here. So this is going to be called Who I Am, What I've Seen, What I Know. So we're going to be doing a double bubble map, and we're going to fill it in with just random ideas about who you are as individuals and who you are. In other words, what kind of qualities or experiences do you share as twins? In which ways are you alike? In which ways are you different? Um,
Also, I
so
have um, I have this assignment from my class. Could you look at it, please, like after?
yeah, can we look at, so you're talking about an assignment from your class?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Do you mind if we look at that toward the end?
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to do that. Okay. All right. So um, these are going to be, sorry, these are going to be the questions here. I'll drop these in the chat. So we're going to think about these questions here. And part of this is just me getting to know, who you are as individuals. All right. So these are the questions. If you look in the chat, I want you to think about this. And if it helps you, you can write your answers in the chat. But really, we're going to really focus on filling in a double bubble map. And I want you girls to become familiar with thinking maps. There are 8 different thinking maps. We're not going to learn all 8 of them necessarily, but they're going to help you tremendously in your writing. All right. So a double bubble map. Are you familiar with a Venn diagram?
yeah,
Okay. Venn diagram is okay, but a thinking map is much better because it really follows and allows you to go more deeply cognitively with 8 different ways of thinking. One of the ways of thinking is story form, sequential. This happened first, that happened next, finally, this happened. That's one way of thinking, right? And when you're reading an article, you can ask yourself, does this article follow that kind of pattern? Another way of thinking is cause and effect. What caused World War II, for example, right? So that's a double bubble map. Sorry, that's a double flow map and very different way of thinking. It explains why things happen. So you get to ask the question, what was the cause? What was the effect? What was the result of that? Um, all right. So we're going to use, I believe, a double bubble map, which is comparing contrasting. So how are things similar? How are they different? Um, now, what's beautiful about a double bubble map, and I'm going to show that to you right now, is it seems deceptively simple, but we can really use it. Let me see. To think, to take notes, to write, we can use it for pre-writing, a lot of different things. All right, so, um, well, that was wrong. All right, here we go, the double bubble map. And I created it as an assignment. And so if we open this up, I'm not, so, oh boy. Okay, we're gonna have to look for a slide. Darn it. Okay. Yeah, we can't write over this, but basically, if you look in the middle, that's your topic here. Have you ever used a double bubble map like this?
no,
Okay. So you see the circle in the center. That's going to be your topic. So in this case, it's going to be um, both of you. As if you want to say us as twins, you can just put us and look at the top bubble in the middle and look at the middle bubble on the bottom as well. So how are both of you alike? Can you give me one example? Now try to think of qualities. They could be personality traits. They can be um, ways of reacting. quiet, outspoken, outgoing, studious, things like that, private. What do you both share together that's in common?
Mm. Uh, um, like um, we like share like a common characteristic of like in terms like features or like being serious or quiet. Yeah, like you said.
Okay. Are you saying that you're both kind of quiet on the quieter side, reserved,
Introverted. Yeah, introverted. Yeah.
introverted? Okay. All right. So, I've been working really hard on this. I was going to tutor you guys on Wednesday, and then I remember I changed that to Monday. I probably should have kept it to Wednesday because if I did this properly, normally I put this on a Google slide so you can actually type over it. This is simply an image, so we're going to have to just make do because I want to get to your homework, okay? So you would put that in the top bubble. We are both introverted, okay? You would write it just like that. Okay. The bottom bubble, give me another example, and maybe Cushy, you can think of this. How else are both of you alike?
We express confidential messages to each other.
Okay, you express confidential messages to one another. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, here's a question I have for you. Yeah, you can definitely put that. Do you both like animals? Are you both compassionate towards animals, or are you both kind of like neutral towards animals, or really don't think about animals?
Disabilities, first, yeah. Yeah, really compassionate towards animals. Yeah.
Both of you are very compassionate towards animals. Okay, great. All right. Now, let's look at the upper left or upper right. I don't care which we pick. Let's pick the upper left. Um, let's go alphabetically. So, Kushi, what is something about you that's different than your sister?
My sister composes a black mark in her hands. I don't have
Can you say
that.
that again?
And
I didn't quite catch that.
she has a black birthmark on her hands.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't possess a black birthmark.
Okay.
Sure.
So that would be more of a Mayuri thing, right? So that would be the upper left bubble. You could put many beauty marks. What's something that you have that she doesn't have?
Um,
It could be an experience, by the way. So this is very broadly speaking, right? It could be facial features, it could be personality traits, it could be experiences, it could be habits.
oh, we both express like the characteristic or like trait of of like studious. I'm a left-handy. She's a right-handy. She's
There you go.
right-handed.
There you go. Okay. So Kushi, you're right-handed.
I'm left-handed. She's an
You're
ambidextrous.
left-handed.
I'm an ambidextrous, but I'm left. So she's more of a left hand. Yeah. Mhm.
Got it. Ambidextrous. So that would be in your upper left. So you would say, I am ambidextrous. Okay. Now, this seems really simple, girls. It seems like it's very third gradish, but I promise you, I'm doing something for a reason here. Why? I'm going to teach you girls how to look at a map that's filled out and it's filled with words. And we're going to start peppering it with transition words. Okay. Now, there's a thing called speaking off the map. So watch what I do. Oh gosh, I'm you have to imagine this because I'm trying to save time because I know Mariuri wants me to look at something she's doing in school.
Yeah, it's really
So
quick.
so imagine that up here in the upper left it says I am ambidextrous. Now, when you're talking about comparison, contrasting, give me some transition words that fit well with showing differences between things. I like hamburgers.
In contrary and contrast.
Contrast. Contrary, on the other hand, however, but, right?
Yeah, like
So,
nevertheless.
nonetheless, or nevertheless, right? Um, yes. So, here's what you would do. When you read something, you would fill out this double bubble map, Or when you're doing an assignment and the teacher's asking you to write about you and your sister, you'd fill this out, kind of like your outline. And as you sat down to write, so you're spilling your ideas out there. Now, notice what's happening here. Notice what we're not doing. We're not just sitting down and writing because the brain is overwhelmed. My brain gets overwhelmed, and I'm a published author, right? I am. But I like to see my ideas by themselves, and I don't care. I don't want to care about which sentence comes first. I don't want to think about sentences and paragraphs and flow. I want to see my ideas, right? So once you have all your ideas out there, it makes you very honest. Makes you very honest. You're no longer trying to impress. Now, you can still try to impress with your ideas, but when you sit down to write, all that BS is gone and just your ideas are there. And you begin to put these sentences together, really simple sentences. I want to take you back to simple sentences. Then we can get fancy. Then we can put those vocabulary words in and everything. Watch one more minute, then we're going to move on. Okay, up here I've got I am ambidextrous. In the middle, I have us. And on the right hand side, I have left handed. So, Mayuri, you're more left handed.
She's right-handed.
And what's that? Okay.
She's
Then I
right-handed.
have transition words everywhere. In the spaces between all these bubbles, I have all kinds of transition words. Now I'm going to speak off the map. So just pretend for me for a minute that this is full of words on this bubble map, double bubble map. Okay. I really like thinking about us. That's my hook right there. That just came off the top of my head. Because whereas my sister Mayuri is a wonderful left-handy and impresses with that beautiful cursive writing.
She's
I
right-handed.
on the what's that? She's right-handed.
Yeah.
On the other hand, see, I just use a transition word right there. Transitional phrase. I am ambidextrous, and there's certain so I am ambidextrous. Period. Right. See what I did right there? Okay. I separated my ideas from my sentence because the bubble map forced me to just focus on my ideas and words and phrases. Then when I got to the writing portion, I could pick and choose from the double bubble map. Okay. Tell me, has this been helpful? Not kind of neutral, like yes,
Yeah,
no,
it's
maybe.
beneficial. Yeah. It's beneficial.
Sure. Yes. Okay. Can you share your screen, Mayuri, and let's take a look at what you want to share.
Yeah. What's that?
I just want to say that I'm really impressed with both of you because you're coming out of your shell, and that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about. So I didn't
Uh,
really have to.
like it should kind of like adheres to like this specified format here. Like this is like an example. I don't really know. It should like kind of like follow this specific like format. Yeah.
What's the question?
It's like kind of like a presentation thing. Um
Hmm.
and like I'm supposed to like my values and my like my issues or like something I'm passionate about or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
like
your values: accomplishment, conscientiousness, education, industriousness, hardworking. Okay. These are things that you value.
yeah.
Okay. If you were going to be defined by one thing, action, what would it be? And then here's your response. I would want to be defined by being especially statured individual in my school in terms of exerting a significant academic achievement. Okay. So, I'm just reading all these issues that matter to you or something you are passionate about, demonstrating a significant academic performance during my social. Okay. All right. I got it. And so what's the question with this? Is it a
Is
question of
there
format or content?
yeah like format and grammatical like issues and stuff, yeah.
Okay, you want to know if the issues you brought up make sense to me? That they
Yeah.
adequately answer the question?
Or like yeah, any of these.
Okay. Well, the first thing that I noticed at the if you look at the left side and you look at the very bottom bullet point where it says I would want to be defined by being a substantially statured individual in my
Yeah.
school in terms of exerting a significant academic achievement. I would write it simply like this, and I'm going to teach you girls not today, but there's a structure called I. V is in Victor, F is in Frank. I stands for identify your subject. Your subject is I. Um, your verb, so V is your verb, right? Would want,
Yeah.
um, to be, want to be, and okay, so defined all of that, the rest of that sentence there, defined all the way to the end, is kind of the rest of your thought. So it kind of fills in the blank. So I can say, for example, I want to be, now, how would you simplify all this? I would say, I want to be a leader in my school academically, in terms of achieving more. Notice how much more simply I stated that.
Yeah.
Here's the
Also,
thing. Okay.
capability in math worksheet. Fine.
What'd you say, Kush?
You could also like I'm very seasoned to by expressing the capability of doing math with ease.
I'm very seasoned with expressing the capability of doing math with ease. Right. Okay. Here's how I would say it.
It should supposed to be like this. Yeah.
Yeah,
For
that's more
example.
concise, right? That is more concise right there.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's way too wordy. And what happens is the reader gets lost in the words rather than in some of it is really good because I like how specific you're trying to be. But if we make it more concise, it's going to have more impact and you can say more things.
Yeah.
I think what the things you're fearing, the thing you're afraid of, can I, and tell me, be honest with me if you agree with what I'm saying, disagree, or I'm somewhere in the middle. Am I being accurate in saying that one of your worst fears in writing very simply is you'll get glossed over? They won't see how thoughtful, intelligent, how hardworking you've been.
Mhm.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's my biggest fear too. What I'm going to show you though, over time, you're going to learn. Look, I used to write for a newspaper in Bakersfield. I wrote stories. And the editor, you know what she said to me? They had an online magazine called the Southwest Voice. I wrote funny stories. They had a print version that they would circulate. You would find these papers in supermarkets, in front of post offices, anywhere you went in town, you could find these. I'm exaggerating a little bit. You could find them all over. Okay. I wanted to be printed in that paper, right? She said to me, this 1,500 word, 1,500 words that you have will not publish. I need it to be 500 words. You know what I said to myself? How can I do this? Every word counts. That's me. Those are my ideas. I want to impress. I want to make people laugh. Well, guess what? I wrote that darn thing into 500 words. And you know what I found out? Not only did she print that, but I used to be the open mic person at Barnes and Noble. I didn't work at Barnes and Noble, but they asked me to conduct their open mic. I read it in public, and not until I read it in front of people, I said, "Man, she was right." People are laughing. I'm impressed with it. I love it. My mind is not wandering. And I got my point across. I got in, I got out. So you're going to find your voice. And I guarantee you this when you cut down the number of words and think in simple terms, I will teach you how to do that. You're not going to lose Mayuri and Kushi. You're not going to lose Kushi. Why? You're going to start putting your ideas into there. You're going to have more room when you cut down all these extra words. more room to show the examples that you have from your life. And people are going to say, oh my gosh, I can relate to her. What do you think about what I just said?
Yeah. Um,
Isn't that amazing to
mhm.
think that I can learn to cut down my number of words? It's like looking in my wardrobe. Look at this sweater right here. Look at the shirt. Look at the tie. In my closet, I have way too many clothes. But if I had to lose half of them, I would hate that. But I guarantee you, a week later, I would say to myself, I'm so glad I did that because it allowed me to focus on what's really important. And now I can have more room. I can go out and buy more shirts. I can buy boots. I can buy jackets. This stuff gets me excited because I know that's going to change your life, the way that you write, the way that you think. All right. So let's end our session. Any other questions you have about this that I can help you with before we go?
Yeah. Do you, am I supposed to like change this or
Yeah, you know what I would say? Um, okay, let's slow down here. Let's look at the question again. If you were going to be defined by one thing or action, what would it be? Let me ask you, just explain to me, just you and me. What do you want to be remembered for?
this like substantially statured individual like in my school, like in terms of exerting a significant academic performance or achievement?
It's hard to hear what you're saying because you're talking kind of fast, and it's not your fault. It's kind of Zoom's fault because my audio is turned all the way up, but for some reason I can't hear you very well. Can sort of slow down. So say
Yeah,
that again. What
it's like being a substantially statured individual in like my school in terms of exerting a significant academic performance or achievement is like well I was trying to like like state, but I don't really know what else to like I don't know how to simplify that. Or like
you
this
don't know how to
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
you don't know how to simplify that. Right. I got you. Okay. Um, right. This is how I would do it. Um, can you share that with me in the chat? Can you copy and paste that bullet? And I'm gonna
Uh,
go to a document and do something with that.
um
Okay.
oh would this be it?
Yeah, I know you asked me a question, but give me a second here. Chat is being a little difficult with me. Let's see here. Oh, I can copy that, right? Cool. I can copy it that way. Um, Cushy, did you have a question about these other bullet points?
Oh, I'm done.
Okay, that's fine.
I
All
can't
right.
figure it out.
Stop sharing. And what I'm going to do, let me share.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go to a session document right here. Oops. Oh, I don't have a session document. Darn it. All right. I'm just going to open up a Word document real fast. Okay, let's do this. As long as you can see my screen, we're good to go. Um, paste. Oh, yeah, here we go. Let me just change this a little bit. Okay, do that. Right. Hopefully you can see this nice and clear. Okay. I would want to be defined by being a substantially statured individual in my school. What is a statured individual?
Like leaving like an impactful I don't understand like being like with that one of the highest I think it means like composing a high stature in society. No, like being like the highest academic achiever in my entire school.
The highest achieving academic student, right?
Yeah, like in my
Okay.
school.
In your school. Okay. That's it. That's really what you're trying to say. When you
Okay.
spoke it to me, you were more clear than when you wrote it.
Yeah.
What is it missing? I know you might be thinking to yourself, but that's not really, I want to say more. Like, what
Am I
else are you trying to say?
am I supposed to like restate the question by saying like I would want to be because it's like she said like my teacher said that, so do I have to say like I would want to be defined by, like by being the highest academic student in my school?
I understand your question completely. You're saying your teacher does want you to restate the prompt into your question,
Yeah, like I want to be defined
yeah,
by, yeah.
absolutely. Okay. All right. Oh, what was the question again? How did she word it?
My teacher worded it like I would want to be like defined by standing up for those who who didn't or don't have a voice.
That was not the question though. Wasn't it like, what do you want to be
But
known
yeah,
for? One
if
action.
you were going to be like defined by one thing or action, what would it be?
Okay, got it, got it. I would want to be
Yeah, my
defined.
teacher said like I would want to be defined by, and then she like stated
Aren't
herself.
you aren't you trying to say you're like an erudite or something?
Am I
What's that,
supposed to
Kushi?
be
Aren't you isn't she trying to say she's an erudite?
A what?
An erudite?
An air vet?
Get erudite. Oops.
Spell what you're spell that for me.
Erudite.
AruDit? Yes? I think you're muted. I can't hear you.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, erudite.
Erudite. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Erudite. That's what you mean, right?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm trying to help her to make it clear. Okay. Because here's the thing. I want to be defined by being the highest academic achiever in my school.
Yeah.
See what I'm
Is my
saying?
Yeah, is the rest of my quotes good? Like demonstrating a significant academic performance. That's my first bullet point. And like exerting myself with a persistent and dedicated effort. And my third one was like opting towards a highly challenging and demanding predicament by staying resolute and igneous towards the solution.
Share your screen again and I'll look at that.
Okay.
I think your ideas are there. It's just a matter of making it more clear and then cutting out some of the extra words. That's all we're looking at trying to do. So if you want to share your screen again,
Yeah, I think you're
then
sharing. Yeah, that's
okay, you're looking at these bullet points on the right hand side, right? Correct?
yeah.
Uh, Demonstrating a significant academic performance. Um, Not a significant. Take out the A. That's perfect. Exerting myself with a persistent and dedicated effort. What are you trying to say there? Like if you're talking to a 5-year old, what are you trying to say?
Like in terms of my studies, um like like um uh like exerting like the persistency and dedicated effort towards like my academic performance or my studies.
I think she's saying like she's trying to express like um
Persistence. I think
yeah,
it's as simple
persistence.
as she's trying to demonstrate persistence towards a goal.
Yeah, like my studies or
Okay, Mayuri, when you say persistence, it's already understood that you're exerting yourself ongoingly. That's what it means to be persistent, right? Demonstrate persistence in achieving a goal.
Exerting or demonstrating?
Demonstrating or demonstrating persistence. Yeah. In achieving my goals. Isn't that more clear?
Are you like trying to convey
No. Yeah.
consistence?
Does that adequately convey what the idea what you were trying to communicate? Did we
Yeah,
lose any?
kind of. My goals, like you mean my studies, right? Like, yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay, demonstrating persistence in my studies
Okay.
You
or
can
my
say in your
academic
academic
pursuits,
performance. My
academic
academic,
performance,
yeah.
my academic performance. There you go.
Okay.
Opting towards a highly, so look, opting towards, how can we, okay, this is a perfect example right here. Instead of saying opting towards, choosing a
Okay.
highly, yeah,
You can say striving for highly challenging.
same
Striving
thing,
for
right? Yeah, if you
It's
like that
striving.
better,
Okay.
striving, let's see, for a
Striving
highly
towards.
towards, well, let me read the rest of this because I want to see what you're trying to say here first. A highly challenging, demanding predicament by
I don't know if that
staying.
makes sense. Yeah, I was just trying to say like a tough
predicate
situation.
means maybe predicate means future.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
You're missing some words because it's covered by this graphic here. Towards what? Okay. Striving towards a highly challenging. What
I
did
was
you
just
have there before?
it's basically just like it's basically just what's that? Uh, um, it was just like like a word from here. Yeah. Yeah. This one, like right here.
Ability to act effectively and creatively, especially in tough situations. Yeah, overcoming ability to. All right, so you can copy and paste that, and let's try to make it our own.
Because I don't know if I was supposed to like do something. Maybe I was supposed to do something like myself, but I don't know. I was just like doing this one.
No, you can't do that though. You have to make it your own because your
Yeah.
teacher's going to know it's just basically cut and paste from the definition,
Yeah.
right? Um,
Maybe I could
okay,
say like the capability.
here's an idea.
Okay,
Here's an
you
idea.
could just say the capability to instead of act effectively, and in generally, you can say particularly in what's that word again? In uh I forgot that word.